Very good, very good. Aloha mai kako. March 4th, 2026. The time is 9 o'clock. And I call this meeting of the Committee on Beneficiary Advocacy and Empowerment to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's meeting and acknowledge our staff, Trustee Aide Leanne Stender-Durant, who is serving as the Committee Recording Secretary, and Trustee Akina's aide, Remy Keli'iho'omalu, and thank you to Trustee Akina for allowing her to support our committee today, who is helping out the team right now. Welcome, Remy. Yeah. Leanne, please take the roll for attendance.
Trustee Ahuna,
Eo.
Trustee Akaka, Trustee Akina,
Aloha mai kako.
Trustee Alapa, Trustee Kahele is excused, Trustee Lindsay, present. Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihe'e is excused, and Trustee Galutaria.
Bill.
You have 6 yes votes. You have a quorum.
Very good. Okay, let's proceed. Public testimony will be allowed on each agenda item and will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Before moving on to the items on our BAE agenda, I'd like to call our COO, Keishan Kekina, to join us at the table to introduce any administrative staff here with us today. Aloha.
Aloha kakayaka kako. Mahalo nui trustees for this halavai. This morning we have with us in support of this meeting from administration, our interim administrator and CEO, Summer Silva, our general counsel, Everett Ota, our public policy manager, Deja Ostrovsky, our director of community engagement, Lisa Von Sakona, and we also have a new employee, our GIS specialist, James Matsuzaki. Mahalo.
All right, James, aloha. Welcome to the family.
It is, but we're putting our heads up and realizing we're doing really good. And
Good.
So yeah, I have really good news to report.
Good, we're awaiting a very positive report.
Yes.
Okay? So please proceed.
Um,
But by the way, oh no, I've already told you folks, yeah, we got the new additional information, yeah? Okay? Okay, please proceed.
Yeah, so I wanted to start with a session overview as requested by the trustees. So tomorrow is the single referral deadline, which means all of the bills have to have been heard if they're just referred to Fin and WHAM or heard in their last committee, because we have our first decking is the 6th. And so that's when we'll find out what's going to make crossover. So we kind of have a pretty good idea right now what will make crossover. Next week is recess and caucus, where they will be caucusing about what makes crossover, which is March 12th. So that's going to be our next meeting. We'll have for sure crossover, and we'll be halfway done. So it's crazy to think that we're already there at crossover. So we kind of know what's going to be happening. So that's why we have such good news for Matrix 1, our OHA package.
Before you start
Yeah.
on Matrix 1,
Yes.
any public testimony?
Sorry.
What's yet? No. Okay, please proceed.
Yeah, so I feel like we've just been putting our heads down. We've submitted so many testimonies. We had 59 pieces of testimony just over the weekend in Fin and WHAM because of the volume. And we get to raise our heads up and see where we're at in the OHA package, which half of our bills are still alive and doing really well. So I want to report first about our Land Use Commission bill, which is allowing OHA to name the traditional Hawaiian land use seat, as well as adding water expertise for Vai on the Land Use Commission. That bill had 116 pages of testimony, almost every single one in support. And our bill has become kind of this preferred vehicle for making sure that when we do have land use development, that there is water and it's done appropriately and there's ways for the community to be involved. So that's like such a great thing to see that bill still alive. And then the other is our aquarium, commercial aquarium ban bill that is also still alive. There was some really great Finn testimony where a lot of the community showed up and were focusing on what's happening. A great Civil Beat article, which was shared on OHA social media. And then also the BLNR had this past week moving forward with their admin rules for Ka'upulehu, and those would include a ban on aquarium fishing. So we're actually seeing a lot of movement, and it's great that the bill is actually still alive. We thought it was going to die so early on, and it's alive and kicking, so. Yeah.
You're awfully happy.
Yes, I am.
That's good.
Like I meant what I said. I put my head up and was like, wow, we've gotten really far. We've done a really good job. So thank you, everybody. I think, yeah, it's just great to have the trustees down supporting our team too. So yeah. The next is our burials bill. That one is also still alive, and that's the one where we would talk about doing a reimbursement structure to fulfill some of the issues with quorum with IBCs, where maybe folks have childcare or they have something with work that they need to take off, and so that we'll probably be coming back to the trustees for more of your input about what that looks like post crossover to get some numbers for what those reimbursements would look like.
Yeah, so for the trustees, the recruitment of burial council members has always been an issue. And so what is being, advanced is perhaps a stipend of some kind. But I think even that has to be thought through, because giving just $100 is kind of weird. So when you come back next time, give us some choices that we can work with, okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, please proceed.
Thank you, trustee. Okay, so that was all with Matrix 1. Oh, I did want to note our historic preservation bill. That one is finally dead. We kind of knew that would be a heavy lift because we're asking to repeal a law that was just passed last session, or at least make some tweaks to that. So that's just going to be something that we have to pick up later on and maybe get some more support in another session. So, yeah.
Trustees, any discussion or any questions? 'Cause we don't have to, in this particular one, there's nothing to vote on. So, but in summary then, our package contains six bills at the top,
Yeah.
and now it's 3 bills.
Yes, and I don't want to botchy anything, but I think that's pretty good bragging rights for for public policy to have half the package survive crossover.
Yeah, very good.
But we're, not going to
Okay. Trustees, anything you'd like to add? Any questions? Okay, please proceed to Matrix 2 is OHA position on bills naming OHA.
Yes, so
Hold on, any public testimony?
sorry.
No public testimony.
Okay, proceed. Kalamai.
So I did just want to talk first with, it's already highlighted on the matrix. It's page 6, item number 9, which is I'll call them the other part of OHA's package now, which even more makes it great that we've got 2 PLT bills alive. And so that is HB 2584, which increases the public land trust revenue. And I know we really appreciated having Chair Emerita and Trustee Akaka at the hearing. So I don't know if you folks want to talk about how the hearing went and why we're suggesting a position change to full-on support for that. Yeah.
Trustee Akaka, would you like to mention anything?
I mean, I will say that I know we had some amendments before, but now it's just more about a number. So, yeah.
Follow. I think one thing to note is the testimony that was, the oral testimony by the AG's office that was concerning and not necessarily accurate in which it was portrayed to be in terms of how the law is written and how it's constitutionally mandated to have the 20% go to OHA. So I think that needs to be addressed, and perhaps one could say that the written testimony is different from how the oral testimony was provided by the AG's office, and that could provide some confusion for the members of a committee, the chair and the vice chair. So I had recommended to our public policy team to address this matter with the future chairs and vice chairs that will be hearing this bill and the members as well, so that there is clarity in terms of how the law is written and how the Office of Hawaiian Affairs indeed should be receiving 20%, if not more.
Okay. Yeah, trustee. Okay, trustee Lindsay.
Chair?
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. So I had a meeting with Sherry Broder, who is on our Public Land Trust working group. Excuse me. Because we were quite disturbed with the Attorney General's testimony at this hearing. Actually, it's a misrepresentation of the law. So Sherry drafted a letter to the Attorney General. And then she suggested that she and I go in and talk to the Attorney General about this. But I didn't want to go without first talking to the board, because I think it's critical. You know, you were present at the hearing the first time at Tarnas's committee, and I corrected the Deputy Attorney General. Well, he did the same testimony at the Finance Committee meeting. So he totally disregarded or want to misinform the legislature. And therefore, I'm not saying that because of his testimony, but the other disappointing thing at that finance meeting was that a fellow Public Land Trust Working Group person testified that he thinks that we should use the overflow account to pay for the inventory and the audit. So I wasn't really happy with that, but as a result of those testimonies, basically, the finance chair was nice enough to pass the bill as is, except they left the money part blank. And that's scary because, of course, they're passing it on to the Senate, to the Ways and Means, and it'll probably end up in conference.
so trustee Lindsay, you're asking the board to consider the letter and.
No, I'm asking the board to consider allowing Sherry and I to go talk to the Attorney General about the misinformation of the testimony by that department.
Sure. Well, personally, I don't have any problem with that, but trustees, you folks want to weigh in on that? Vice Chair.
Mahalo. Yes, that is accurate, in which the AG's office did have the same testimony in that Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee as he did in the Finance Committee, and that was concerning, and it was also my recommendation to have correspondence with the AG's office so that there is correct information that is provided out of that office so as to not misrepresent how the law is written. And it was also shared that by the finance chair that the AG's comments would be noted as well in the committee report. And yeah, this certainly needs to be addressed to mitigate any confusion for anyone that's going to be voting on this matter at the state legislature.
What is their goal? Because the way it's written, temporarily increase the total amount of public land trust revenues. I mean, they owe us that. That is what they owe. I mean, I don't know how you can temporarily increase. It's just, can we look at the overall budget and then 20% of that too? Does that make sense?
No.
No?
No, we cannot. Chair,
Because it's a 5F trust.
Proceed.
can I address Trustee Ahuna's question.
Yeah, please do.
Trustee, I think the purpose of the temporary is that the audit and the inventory not done yet. So we do have overage in that overage account, and the intention is to take money from that account to increase immediately our payout. And it could be, and it'll be up to the legislature whether it's 5 million, 10 million, nothing. I mean, but we're asking for that so that, and we say from the overage because that money is OHA's money. And they cannot say that they have so much to cover with the general fund because we're not asking for general fund money. We're asking for our money in that overage account. So it was my hope that this finance committee would have put in a figure, and I believe we were asking for 30 million. I don't know. Is Lay there?
No,
I mean,
Leila is
Lathan.
not here, but Deja is here.
Oh,
Yes.
Deja, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how much money we were asking for from the overage account for the next 2 years,
It was
each
at
year
least 50.
At least 50,
Because
yeah.
that would be reflected in, as to what is
in the account.
referencing the carry forward account.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
I will also note that in the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee that there was desire by, it was mentioned in that committee in terms of lifting that cap that we
Yes.
have, and that to noting that carry forward that was mentioned in the testimony in that committee, and to also add to what you're saying, yes, the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee Chair did leave that amount blank so that the Finance Committee could work on that. However, that is yet to be determined. But I
Yeah,
think,
so, and I think the temporary is because we probably have only so much money in the overage. And if they increase it by, let's say, 30 million, 50 million, we will have exhausted that account. Because right now, I think there's around 57 million in that account. And we're hoping that each year it increases because they're continuing to put in our 20% share. Does that answer your question, Dan?
Yes? Yeah.
Yes, no, thank you, Chair. Like for me, I just want to, for me, being here, we haven't had too many bills get passed, you know?
Yeah.
So at least say what we want to say. Like, the state still owes its, fair revenues to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs or something, you know what I mean? To remind them, else we're going to continue to hear the AGs and people come up and say things that is not even true. And it's because the narratives that is being created right here. It doesn't even sound like what we're working on right now.
Right.
Okay.
But anyway.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to Trustee Akina, then Trustee Souza, and Trustee Waihe on this matter. Go ahead.
I support Trustee Hulu's request to visit the AG and make clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Souza.
Mahalo, Chair. My question, I guess, in regards to Chair Merida Hulu's request to visit the AG, is Sherry Broder representing the group, the PLT working group, as a member? Or is she serving as her, I guess, her official capacity, in her official capacity as an attorney? And if it's the latter, I only ask the question because there's a budget attached to that. So if there's going to be what of an approval, what process do we take at that point? And so that would be my only question.
Trustee Lindsay?
I believe she'll be representing the working group.
Yeah. She's a
Okay.
part of the working group.
Okay. So,
So no expenditure.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Waihe?
Thanks. I have a question for Deja. Deja, this money that this is the money that they're reporting 20%, they're reporting as 20% of what they acknowledge as ceded land revenues, right? So it's not disputed. I mean, they themselves are
Yes.
reporting it.
Yeah.
So there should be what would the objection to this bill be from from the state side when we seem to be seeing eye to eye that we're owed this money?
Well, yeah, that's why I think there is some concerns about what the AG said in testimony, because of this, so that we do have concerns about that. We were actually hoping that they would that there is at least an understanding with the FIN chair as well as the FIN members that this is undisputed revenues for OHA. I think there's this kind of idea, maybe, I don't know if Everett wants to say anything.
I think it's exceeding the cap.
Yeah, they don't want to exceed the cap, so they want to do it
Yes.
for 2 years and then let the working group have a better decision. So we do actually need a number. We can't just say whatever. We just need to have a 2-year number to exhaust what's in that account. And so we were asking for 50 million, thinking that for sure that would work. So, yeah.
Trustee Wahey, anything else?
Well, I mean, I get that it's exceeding the cap, but that's why this bill is here. So I mean, right.
Everett, you got something you want to share?
Yeah, I'll ask Everett too. Yes, sorry.
Good morning, trustees. So I'm sorry, Chair Galataria, Trustee Waihe's question, could I just get repeated?
Trustee Wahey,
I
can you
guess,
repeat?
well, no, and I guess I kind of understand if their only argument is that it exceeds the cap, and since there is such a cap on it, and we don't want to give you this money, we can use that as the reason. Is that basically their argument? Because my thing is that they're acknowledging, this is money they acknowledge they owe us, right? And this bill would give it to us. So I was wondering why they would oppose it when we seem to be seeing eye to eye on the fact that it's owed to us. And I'm guessing that the argument is, well, because there's another law that puts a cap on it, and we don't want to give you this money, we're going to use that as a reason not to give you this money. That's what their argument basically is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you clear on that, Everett? Do you have something to respond with?
So as I understand the Attorney General's testimony, it's that there is language in the bill that is saying that OHA is either to be given a set amount, right, the blank amount that's contained in the bill, or the amount necessary to provide OHA's 20% share, or Native Hawaiian's 20% share of PLT. I think the issue that the Attorney General's office is raising is that they don't have a way to determine that amount because those historic definitions of revenue are not found in the current law. And what we have instead is just a set amount, often referred to us as a cap, but it's really just an amount that OHA is entitled to as part of the PLT share each year. And that's, the amount that we've been paid, or that we receive each year, but the individual agencies are identifying, amounts.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's basically that's a nicer way of saying what I did. But,
Excuse me.
okay, thanks.
Okay. Deja, you want to add anything? No?
No, I think that's good. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Vice Chair.
Chair, just one last thing from me.
Okay, go ahead.
What's critical about the Deputy Attorney General's testimony is he said there's no place in the law that says we should get 20%. And there is, in fact, a place in the law that says we should get 20%. So that's the complaint that we have, Sherry and I.
Okay. Mahalo. The Vice Chair. Anything to add?
Yes, I wanted to thank Representative Kahaloa for her diligent work on this matter. And one other thing to note as well is that part of this is the education, re-education of those at the legislature and within our community, where the concern was that we should be getting at least $80 million. That doesn't even include the interest over the years since that audit was done to see what the various entities that are on our Crown and government lands, the income that has been, and proceeds that have been generated over time. So it was very well noted in the Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs Committee of their concern and how this will be properly addressed.
Sure. And in addition to that, you know, they're trying to move the bill over to OHA for anything moving forward on inventory. There's a couple of moving parts here, so we've got to keep our eye on it. Unless the board objects, Trustee Lindsay, I think you should proceed. And I think Trustee Souza's answer is what you were looking for, right?
Yes, sir.
Expenditures.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Trustee Hulu, are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Got
very
it.
good. Got it. Okay.
Mahalo.
Because I want us to understand what's going on in the state. They're trying to claim that they don't owe us the 20%.
I don't know if that's what they're asserting.
It would,
Or they're saying that we never say that they 20%, right?
it's more addressing that we should be getting at least $80 million. And until this
So they-
guilty
they're
working
putting
group
numbers to it,
is
yeah.
able to determine that they do want to raise it up to be more closer to an accurate amount that we should be receiving.
Yeah. So they're creating a narrative through these
Yeah,
bills.
but I think that's why the education at the legislature and within our community is so important, so that it's clear beyond what you're seeing just based on, let's say, if you're just reading this matrix.
No, because I know I'm not gonna get passed, so sorry, but it's just like, we like educate people, so we should be talking about the issue.
Yeah, so, and I think this is another thing that I mentioned
Everybody.
with public policies, that we need to
I mean, I
provide
hope
some
it gets
kind of
passed, I'm so sorry,
myth
but
busting
I've been there
and,
a long time.
and information so that they are able to come to the decision that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Trustee Souza.
Mr. Chair, thank you. To your earlier question,
Dan,
that did
turn off
answer
your mic.
my, that did answer,
Turn off your mic.
sorry.
Okay.
To your earlier question, Mr. Chair, that, you answered my question, with, Chair Emeritus' response, but, I'd also like to mention that I think a request like that also goes to the chair's office. The chair's office is the conduit between,
That's the game plan.
yeah, between the, other branches of government and agencies, so I don't know if this body can approve that request today, so, yeah.
Timing is key
Right.
here.
I'm just going per the bylaws.
Okay.
But yeah, I do agree that the time is of the essence
Yeah.
on this issue, so.
Yeah.
But that is the proper process.
That's a
yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean.
Chair, can I also state that there might be value to have Everett actually attend a meeting like that as well?
I
And hear
don't disagree.
thoughts. Mahalo.
Yes. Okay, so this particular body, without, due process, right, which is,
Yeah.
the chair has to weigh in on this.
Yeah, well, per the bylaws, but I'm not disagreeing with the approach. I like it, but
Yeah.
I think we just gotta,
Chair,
we're covering our own.
yeah, Trustee Lindsay, have you folks secured a date?
I think just a simple request
No,
to the chair.
I did not.
Okay, I think,
that's all.
okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we move on, because we've gone through a lot of discussion on this one, but we know where we are, and we'll make a decision on that shortly.
Okay?
Okay, great. Deja?
Well, in interest of time, I was going to talk about some other bills, but that we already have a good thing on. I've already talked about those with BAE leadership. So I'm just going to move on and say that we do have some other good bills on the Matrix moving, and I'll move on to Matrix 3. But I think we have to make the vote on Matrix 2 first. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah,
Before we move to 3, we got to vote on 2.
yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, I'm going to be moving to approve OHA staff's bill position recommendations for bills affecting the Public Land Trust as, bills naming OHA as presented in Matrix 2. Okay? Motion's on the table. Any discussion? Seeing none, Leanne, take the roll.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Wahe'e.
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
All right,
Motion passes 8 votes.
thank you, members. Moving on to C, OHA position on bills affecting the public land trust matrix 3. Is there any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, Deja?
Okay, I have 4 bills that we're going to be recommending a table change, and those are highlighted in blue on the matrix in front of you. So they're ones that since the publication of the matrix last week, we're recommending changes. So the first is item number 1, page 11, Bill HB 1603, which is about ag park leases. We're recommending moving from comment to monitor. This is something that OHA had commented on when this was first passed, where they would, allow it to be for Oahu, and now it's going to expand to other counties. We had commented on that. As you can see, we have a lot of other fights going on in the legislature. So moving towards conference, we're going to deprioritize and ask to monitor on that. The next bill is item number 4, HB 2395, relating to the takings of marine deposits. This is the bill that would authorize DLNR to approve permits for research for taking of marine deposits. We had put it, as long as the items are returned back to the beach. So similar, we are recommending a downgrade from comment to monitor, and that's just given the priorities that we have right now and the testimony, and then also the, education that we need to do at the legislature.
Deja?
Yes.
Before you move on, give the board and the viewers a sense of what a marine deposit is.
It would be like sand or items from the beach, most likely, yeah. Or,
That's not rubbish.
yeah, no, it's not rubbish.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, sorry, I'll give a little bit more. I'm trying to feel rushed and I shouldn't be too rushed. Okay, so the next is item number 6, SB 2003, relating to natural resource management. This is one of the bills about Mauna Kea that there has been a lot of community discussion. We testified on them in a comment position before, which would repeal the Mauna Kea Oversight Authority. Again, we're recommending a downgrade from comment to monitor. I wanted to note something that we noted at the last BAE board table, that there is some confusion about how this bill authorizes the authority to extend the existing leases. That authority is already with DLNR. And so there is that authority in law to do holdover leases. So we think the bill's kind of talking about that, but that authority is already there. So we're recommending a move from comment to monitor.
That's it?
Okay, the final one is the other Mauna Kea bill. Again, item number 14, page 13, SB 2593. It looks like a companion, but it's just a piece of that. And again, this is the one that authorized Mauna Kea Stewardship Oversight Authority to extend the leases. So we had been opposing this and saying that it kind of steps back from what the Mauna Kea Oversight Authority was established to do, but that power for the lease extension is already with DLNR in law. It would just authorize them to be another one who can transfer that authority. So we're recommending a move from opposed to monitor. Again, we have already submitted testimony in opposed. It's just a depriority of what fights we're going to get in, knowing the PLT fight we have. Yeah. Sorry.
Trustee, was that Lindsay? Was that Trustee Lindsay? Trustee Lindsay, proceed. No? Okay, Trustee Ahuna.
So we're going against, is anybody from OHA on that committee? Oversight committee? Or they don't pick anybody from OHA?
No.
Oversight?
I don't
No.
think we had, no, they did not allow an OHA rep, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that's the reason why we had our lawsuit, that's why. Because we don't
Right.
have a voice, so now we put our lawsuit and now we stay doing exactly what we was trying to do in the lawsuit. Tell them that we have to have a voice. So again, I mean, shucks, man.
Deja, what is your sense of where this bill is going? Is it going to make the cross?
Yes, it's going to make the cross. I think there is, actually, let me check absolutely for sure. I checked this morning and it was gonna make cross, I think, so,
Okay. Vice Chair.
Yeah, regarding this matter, I had recommended, and I still recommend that, going forward, that there be an OHA, representative or somebody present at these meetings so that they're tuning into what is happening there in the Oversight Committee and that they can share that with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And if there's any testimony that needs to be provided or any mana'o that is provided as well, so that the kuleana of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in this is stated, because this is part of our Crown and Government lands.
Just real quick, so we're the voice of our people. The people, the beneficiaries, is constitutional right to have a voice on the mountain. And what's happening, the reason why we had this lawsuit is because when you take out us, you take out the voice of our people. So this is the result right now, is happening right now. So all I'm just trying to say is now we got to bring back the voice of the people. You know what I mean? Like that was the law. That's why we was created. So
Yeah,
I
thank
don't
you.
know. The lawsuit was the best thing we had.
Thank you for that. All right. Any other discussion or any other questions or anything else on the matrix?
for Matrix 3, that's all we have is table changes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Deja. You want to add
No, I just
something?
wanted to mahalo trustees. So I think we could talk further about how we can take some of that input maybe in some other vehicles. Yeah, so.
Okay. Okay, trustees, I'm going to move to approve the staff's bill position for bills affecting the Public Land Trust as presented in Matrix 3, except for HB 1603 relating to agricultural park leases from comment to monitor, HB 2395 related to the taking of marine deposits from comment to monitor, SB 2003 related to resource management from comment to monitor, and HB 2593 relating to Mauna Kea from oppose to monitor. Okay, the motion's on the table. Any discussions, members? Trustee Ahuna? No. No? Okay, go ahead, Leanne. Take the roll.
Trustee Ahuna?
Aye.
Trustee Akaka?
Aye.
Trustee Akina?
Aye.
Trustee Alapa? Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay?
Aye.
Trustee Souza? Trustee Waihe'e?
Yes.
Chair Galutaria?
Aye.
You have 8 yes votes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to D, OHA position on bills affecting natural resources and Native Hawaiian traditional and customary practices of Matrix 4. Any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, Deja. That's 1823, right?
That was already disclosed. So it's on the original agenda.
Okay. Okay, all righty. Continue with the matrix.
Yes. Then I did want to highlight another bill, and that's just in case that trustees are asked about it.
Cannot hear the,
Oh, so sorry.
Was
Okay,
that
the other
Trustee
bill is just in
Lindsay?
case.
Oh, okay.
Mic on.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. The other bill is just in case trustees are asking or hear about it, I wanted to flag it. We're not asking for a position change, but it's HB 2618. That is, the green fee allocations bill. So that bill got amended where they inserted some language about public land trust revenues that we flagged to Everett. And Everett has said this is not, it's not the right vehicle. We spoke about this in BAE leadership meeting. So I just want to flag it for the trustees. It's basically this wrong allocation of PLT. And so we wanted to flag that for folks. It's not on the table for a table change, but it is an amendment that happened. We're just monitoring the bill. And so we will come back to you next week about that, what we're going to say about that ceded land things. But for transparency and letting you folks know, we saw the amendment, we see it in there, and we're working and figuring out what to do with that. Okay?
Okay, but no change.
No change. Yeah,
Okay.
we will come back with that if we need to post crossover. So, but I'm just flagging it so that folks know in case you're like, wait, what is this bill with this ceded lands language in it? It's just so that it's communicated to the trustees at the table. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. We're not recommending any other changes for Matrix 4, except what was published. So we're not making any changes different from what was published online.
Okay, very good. Okay, members, I move to approve OHA staff's bill positions, recommendations for bills affecting natural resources, Native Hawaiian traditional and customary practices as presented in Matrix 4. Any discussion, members? All right, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka. Trustee Akina. Trustee Alapa. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Waihe'e. Chair Galutaria.
Aye.
You have 8 yes votes. Motion passes.
Mahalo, members. Okay, let's move to item E, positions on bills affecting Native Hawaiian housing, Matrix 5. Any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, seeing none. Proceed, please.
Okay, so the table change that we're recommending, and again, these are our refining our positions based on the volume of testimony and the work that we need to do and prioritize. And so that is page 27, item 6, HB 1728, which requires the counties to allow for installation and operation of rainwater catchment systems. This is a priority of Rep. as Evslin, who's talked about how housing gets more expensive when certain county laws don't allow for certain rainwater catchment systems. So we had been supporting, but we're recommending a downgrade to monitor at this time.
Why?
Just based on our priorities.
Oh, okay.
So the volume of testimony that we're submitting, there's only a certain number of us and there's a lot of work to do. Our package is still alive and we've got some really difficult PLT things to do. So we just want to make sure when we're putting our support behind it that we can really stand behind that. So we're just asking for a deprioritize to monitor.
Okay.
That's it for Matrix 5.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I just want to make sure, we're talking about HB 1728 from support to monitor. Okay. Members, I move to approve OHA staff positions and recommendations for bills as presented in Matrix 5, except for HB 1728 relating to rainwater catchment systems from support to monitor. Any discussion, members? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina.
Aye.
Trustee Alapa.
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
All right,
You have 8 yes votes.
mahalo, members. Okay, moving on to G, item G, all positions on bills affecting Native Hawaiian education, which is Matrix 7. Any public testimonies, Leanne?
No public testimony. I believe we're on trustees, Matrix 6. No.
None? Okay. Asia?
Okay, we have one change that we're recommending, and that is on page 35. I have item number 15, HB 1790, relating to policing. This establishes a big center for criminal justice research. And I'm actually really happy to report we worked on some amendments with Papa Ololokahi, as well as our research and team with Carla and Keith and their team. And the committee took our amendments about data for Native Hawaiians. So that's going to be really great if it moves forward. And so we're recommending a full support since our amendments were adopted in committee. So that's great. I did also want to highlight item number 14, HB 1769, which is asking for an incremental return of those incarcerated in private out-of-state prisons to Hawaii. We are supporting that bill, and we're actually talking about how maybe we can get more involved in the support of that bill, since it will make crossover, and there's been a lot of public support. So it requires benchmarks for bringing back our prisoners from Saguaro, from the for-profit prisons. So I'm going to highlight that bill. We've been supporting it, but it's something that's moving. So thank you, trustees.
No change.
No change, yeah.
Okay. Is that it for?
Yes,
Matrix
that's
6?
it for Matrix 6. Mahalo.
Okay, Chair makes a motion to approve OHA staff positions recommendations for bills as presented in Matrix 6, except HB 1790 relating to policy from support with amendments to support. Yes. Okay, trustees, any discussion on this matrix? Okay, seeing none, Leanne, call the roll, please.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Trustee Aquino,
Aye.
Trustee Lapa. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay,
Aye.
Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihe'e,
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Right.
You have 8 yes votes.
Mahalo,
Motion
members.
passes.
Okay, let's move to item G, OHA position on bills affecting Native Hawaiian education, Matrix 7. Any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, Deja.
Yes, so we already published on Matrix 7 4 different bill positions that we're recommending an upgrade from monitor to support. And so we already published those. There's no other changes that we're asking beyond what is in that published matrix. And that's it. Mahalo.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Trustee Aquino,
Aye.
Trustee Lapa.
Aye.
Chair Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay,
Aye.
Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihe'e,
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Right.
You have 8 yes votes. Motion passes.
Mahalo, members. Okay, moving to item H, on bills affecting Native Hawaiian economic stability, Matrix 8. Any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, Deja, please proceed.
Yes, so we are not recommending any changes, and just in interest of moving forward, because I know we have the nominations matrix for the governor's messages, I'm not going to highlight any other bills unless there's anything the trustees would like. Mahalo.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Trustee Aquino,
Aye.
Trustee Lapa. Yes. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay,
Aye.
Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihe'e,
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Aye.
You have 8 yes votes, motion passes.
Very good. Mahalo, members. Item I, affecting Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 6, Iwi Kupuna and Historic Preservation Matrix 9. Any public testimony, Leanne?
No public testimony.
Okay. Deja, please proceed.
Yeah, so we already published 2 changes where we're recommending a moving from comment to oppose. And that's like we said, our historic preservation bill has died. And so we're recommending upgrading our opposition to these rules that are talking about streamlining regulations that support iwi kupuna. So we already noticed those changes on the matrix highlighted for both of those historic preservation bills and the housing bill that would look to streamline as well. And so we're recommending opposition now.
Trustee Ahuna.
Aye.
Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina.
Abstain.
Trustee Alapa. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Aye.
You have 7 yes votes and 1 abstention. Motion passes.
Mahalo. Item J, OHA position on governor's messages, board and commissions confirmations, matrix 10. Any public testimony?
No public testimony.
Okay, Deja.
Okay, so these are the governor's messages for the appointments that we have out already. We do have support for a couple nominees and folks and names you may recognize. So we have the Juvenile Justice Advisory Council as well as the Defender Council, which is the Public Defenders Council for those who are given their free public defender for criminal cases. So there are some names we recognize, like Kirsha, who is the current head of NHLC. And so those are the ones we're recommending support. I did want to flag item number 7, which is the Island Burial Council nomination for the island of Hawaii. I had talked with Kamakana. This is not one of the recommendations that came from OHA. However, we're recommending support and including in our testimony per Everett a discussion that while we are supporting this nomination so that the IBCs function, this is not a name that would that was given by OHA to the governor, so it would not qualify under the statute. We did notice there are a lot of IBC nominations that have not come out yet. So Lei had asked me to report she had talked to the DLNR, and Ryan Kanakaole said he would follow up on the status of some of those nominations, why we're not seeing those. So that's the only one we have before you, and I hope we have some more when we come next time. Mahalo.
Yeah, we hope so too. Okay. That's it for the matrices.
Yeah, that's it for the matrices. So thank you.
Okay, I got one motion to approve OHA staff's bill position recommendations for bills as presented in matrix 10, OHA position on governor's messages, board and commission confirmations. Okay, motion's on the table. Any dialogue, discussion, questions, members? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Ahuna. Trustee Akaka.
Aye.
Trustee Akina. Trustee Alapa. Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay.
Aye.
Trustee Souza. Trustee Waihe'e.
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Aye.
You have 8 yes votes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you, members. Deja, thank you for, and
Thank you.
please thank everybody in advocacy
Yes.
for your hard work.
We have a great team. We're paddling together, and so thank you so much for letting us lift up and celebrate how far we've gotten.
Yeah,
And then knock on wood for where we're going.
Mahalo.
knock on koa wood. Okay, thank you so much. Mahalo for that. All right, thank you, members, for this. Leanne, do we have any online or in-person that has anything to share during community concerns and celebrations?
No, we do not.
Members, anything you like to share on this? Okay. Members, any announcements? Okay. Finally, Chair Waihee, how long? 20 minutes? And then we'll start the BNF. Okay, everybody? Mahalo to everyone for your participation. There being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Trustee Ahuna. Motion made by the trustee, okay? Let me see. Leanne, please take the roll.
Trustee Ahuna,
Aye.
Trustee Akaka,
Aye.
Trustee Akina,
Aye.
Trustee Alapa,
Aye.
Trustee Kahele is excused. Trustee Lindsay,
Aye.
Trustee Souza, Trustee Waihee,
Yes.
Chair Galutaria.
Right.
You have 8 yes votes.
All right, the
Meeting
March
is
4th,
adjourned.
2026 meeting of the Committee on Beneficiary Advocacy and Empowerment is adjourned. The time now is 9:55.